George Anthony again, and that they're not talking for some reason. Can you shed any light on that?
That's contrary to my understanding. I know that when I was on the case that we were in the process of arranging for them, which is not abnormal for law enforcement to want to talk to people in a case or witnesses in a case. But we were just in the process of arranging that. I called the detective today and told him that I was now off the case and that he'd have to reschedule with somebody else.
And this is another one that's sort of off a tangent, so I'll have to take care of it now. Nancy Bryce, that night both of us were on, and she asked you about the lie detector test. And you mentioned something about Cindy on medication. You didn't say anything about George, so I wonder about that. But also, a lot of times defense attorney, you're not a defense attorney for them, but a lot of times attorneys will have their clients take polygraph tests, their own polygraph tests. Has that been done? Have you done that with them?
And those same attorneys would be disbarred for disclosing what's going on between them and their clients.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be appropriate to answer that. So I would challenge any attorney to talk about what the private conversations were or the private work between them and their clients.
Okay, you're not going to like this follow-up question, but I would think if...
No, I don't mind it. You might not like the answer. Well, the question doesn't bother me.
Don't yell at me. But I would think if you could say no, you would just say no.
You would be wrong.
Okay. All right. On to the news of the day. Reading between the lines and talking to you in the past, I think that it sounds to me like there's a reluctance on your part to be part of the public claim that Kaylee is still alive.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever heard me say that Kaylee is alive, and nobody's ever heard me say that she's not alive. I agree to take this case with a specific proviso that there would be no restrictions on me to assist in finding Kaylee. A lot of people didn't understand and haven't understood, and that's really secondary because I agreed that as long as there were no restrictions on me, then I could do whatever I needed to do to help find Kaylee, whatever path that took us on. And the second proviso that I required before I agreed to take the case was that I would not assist Casey's defense in any way, shape, or form, particularly if, in fact, Kaylee was found not to be with us anymore. The probable road would have been Casey, and there would be a clear conflict, and I wasn't going to go there. My goal was to assist in finding this child on behalf of the grandparents with no restrictions on me. So that's what I worked on.
What happened? What kind of restrictions were put on you?
No, there were no restrictions. I made a decision that this case, like any case, I will only take a case if I am in control of my client and I'm in control of my case. And if I feel that I cannot exercise the requisite control over my clients or over a case, then I'm not doing the kind of good that I believe I need to do in order to represent somebody. And when I feel like I've maximized my effectiveness, then it's really best for me to move on and to allow them to go somewhere else. Now,
without violating whatever you can't violate, I mean, was there something that happened that you could talk about that, in your view, went outside of your
there was no specific
code
thing
of control over that?
There was no specific thing, but this case, like any case, if a client wants to give an interview, I'm going to want it filtered through me. If they're going to want to do something, particularly something that's going to be known by the public, I'm going to want to go through me. And if somebody wants to do it without going through me, I respect that. It's their life. It's their, the consequences are theirs. But it doesn't mean that I have to participate in it. It doesn't mean that I have to accept it and go along with it anymore. So I believe that George and Cindy have been horribly maligned. I believe that there's a great misunderstanding by many concerning them. I believe they desperately love Kaylee, and they desperately believe she's alive and want to find her. But this is what so much bothered me. This is not a war. This is not a personality contest. It's not an election about is she with us or is she not with us. My opinion is irrelevant. I want every avenue explored to find this child, and that's what I worked on. And there's been so much going on behind the scenes that people have no idea.
Well, that's what we want to know.
There's things with law enforcement. There's things with Tim Miller. We've all worked so hard, and we've been blasted. I mean, as Tim Miller said it so well, I put it in my press release that anybody that's been associated with this case gets body slammed. We've been accused of horrendous things, and I've been accused of selling out and monetary issues and ethical. I mean, people, they're just horrendous, and they have no idea the tremendous efforts many of us on the inside have made to get rid of the bad ones, get rid of the people that have been exploiting. We brought out one last week, the Larry Garrison, some of the renegade websites, some of the miscreants that were showing up in their front lawn, and the list goes on of things that we've taken care of. And we've worked very well with other professionals, and they appreciate us and we appreciate them. But we have to work along that. And I'll only work against the backdrop of sanity and calmness. And if people want to go outside of that, then I have to respect that, but I don't have to participate in it.
What do you think was outside of that?
Well, I mean, if somebody wants to give an interview and it doesn't get cleared through me, or I don't know about it, then they made that decision. If somebody wants to write somebody or talk to somebody or appear somewhere or to challenge somebody, they all might be valid points, but they need to go through your advisor. What's the sense of having an advisor if you're not going to follow your advisor's advice? And so I've got to respect that. And so somebody needs to get a new advisor, or they need to handle their own matter. But I can't, and I pride myself on the level of advocacy and the level of support that we give clients who are known for that. But if I can't be as effective as I require myself to be, then I can't. I have to listen to my inner voice, and I have to say that I'm not the best person for those people anymore.
Is it? I mean, I don't want to. This is just a thought. It's not going to be the focus of the story, but it's almost. I mean, do you worry that with the actions that they're doing, with you representing them, and you think these things aren't wise, whatever it is that they're doing, that you're afraid it's actually going to make you look bad because is he advising them? Why doesn't he tell them not to do that kind of thing?
There's a wonderful saying: "What you think about me is none of my business." I've got to be true to myself, and I know. I've got a 28-year fabulous career, and anybody knows that we take on and we've taken on some unpopular causes, but I thought it was the right thing to do. We're known for representing the underdog, so I've made a career of that. No, I am worried about them, though, very much. I care about them as people. I've come to care for them a great deal, and I wish that I was able to exercise more control and influence than has ultimately, in my opinion, turned out at the end here, and it makes me sad. It was a hard decision, not intellectually, but from the heart. It was a hard decision because you do come to care for these people, and you really get so close to doing something. We all want to find this child so much, and being on the inside and having the latitude to do anything that I needed to do ethically and legally, we got so close to being able to really do something. And we did a lot of good and helped out in a lot of different areas. But it's tough to now make a decision, to now know that I'm further away from really maybe being able to make that great difference that might have led us to finding this child.
It's tough to walk away.
And that part's tough because you really hope that you're going to be part of making the difference of finding her. And we thought we'd gotten so close. I'd gotten so close at different times working with some of these people who've given their hearts, I wish people really knew. And that's what's the toughest thing now, to say this is not the best thing for me to do anymore, and I don't think it's best for them. We're a step away from that.